It's already September and winter is coming. Especially people who want to move to Sweden have a lot of questions about the winter here in Sweden. And these are important questions because they can either make it or break a move to Sweden. So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about how you can survive the winter here in Sweden. Bear in mind, I'm talking from my own experience. That means I'm kind of excluding the north of Sweden. If you move to the north of Sweden, good luck. No, I'm just kidding. But I haven't really lived in the north of Sweden, and I know it's quite different to where I live, and that's close to Stockholm. I think there's a little bit of a difference there. So obviously the winters in the north are longer, they start earlier, they're probably colder. So it's a little bit of a difference. But if you want to move to Stockholm or in the area or further south, then my tips probably are quite relevant for you. And to be completely transparent, I've only experienced one winter here in Sweden. My second winter is about to start, but I think it's really interesting to see someone's perspective after one winter and what are the tips of surviving versus maybe a few years in. So that brings me to my personal journey. If you're interested in following someone who moved to Sweden, who's from another country, Germany actually, to be precise, and my partner is from Britain and we have 2 little kids. If you want to follow along a little family here in Sweden to see what it is like to live here, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's start with my first tip. So this was really the first thing on my radar, and that was buying the right winter clothes. You definitely have to go shopping for the proper winter clothes. Even I come from Germany and we do have a similar climate depending where you're coming from Germany, but it can get quite cold. But I've lived the last 10 years in the UK actually, and the winters are so much milder there. And if you come from a really hot country like Australia, for example, then definitely you will need proper clothes for the Swedish winter here. I would definitely buy clothing here in Sweden just because I think that there are really good brands out there. It's not cheap here in Sweden, but I just feel like they know their stuff and it's probably really good to buy clothes here. I mentioned a few brands in my previous video, well, brands I bought, but there are so many more. I think you cannot go wrong here in Sweden. Of course, all your clothes, including the shoes, should be waterproof and really warm. And also buy gloves and scarves and hats. That definitely will help you to survive a Swedish winter. So the next tip is actually something new and something really cool. That's why I think winter is perfect to do it. Have a barbecue outside. If you follow me, you know the video where I mentioned it and I thought it was really crazy. And ever since, I really like the idea and I actually can't wait to try it out. When I saw for the first time that people were barbecuing outside, it actually was snowy outside. It looked very white. It just looked really beautiful. And not only does it look magical, I think it's a lot of fun. Something to do. You can meet up with other friends, and if you have kids, I think for them it's just amazing. You have hot dogs, hot chocolate, and they can just play in the snow outside. That's Sweden, guys. It's so great. Okay, let's get a little bit more serious. My next tip is to take your vitamin D. That is something I actually didn't know before coming to Sweden, that it's quite essential during the winter period. So once I moved here, I actually got recommended to take vitamin D, also for the kids, for everyone in the household, to be honest. And the reason is the darkness just affects your mood, you know, your well-being. It is a little bit of an adjustment. Less sun really does something to your body, and that's why it's really important to take vitamin D to supplement the shorter days where the sun is actually out, because you can get vitamin D through sun. Now it's September, I have started already to take vitamin D, so we can have a little build up until it's getting darker here. The next tip is actually my favorite measure against the dark, cold winters. Start celebrating Christmas early. Or by that, I mean get into the Christmas spirit early. Of course, this might not be for everyone. If you like Christmas, then this is a really great tip. And of course, it only really applies for the first half of the winter. But that's already something. But one thing I actually mentioned in another video is what I really like about Sweden as well is that they do decorate quite early, and they keep up the Christmas decoration much longer than I really thought. So until end of January or even into February. And another thing around Christmas is to try all the different Christmas food here in Sweden. I made a video last year around Christmas where I tried some Swedish delights. I will make sure to have another video lined up this year where I try different foods. I have a ton of recommendations which I can't wait to try. And I feel that's almost the best about Christmas, next to all the fairy lights. And then also you can look forward to Christmas parties, maybe at work or with friends. Oh, and did I mention the Christmas markets? This is one of my favorite parts of Christmas, to visit different Christmas markets. And last year we managed a few, including a Christmas market at a castle, but the journey was really long there. This year we have a car, so hopefully we can explore even more Christmas markets. If you have any tips where the best Christmas markets are in Sweden or around Stockholm area, maybe an hour or 2 hours max, then let me know in the comments down below. So if you're into Christmas, then the winter months are actually amazing. My next tip is to make plans for the next summer. Maybe the winters are not the best things about Sweden. It is probably the summers. So why not taking the time to make plans for the next summer? Because here in Sweden you also get 4 to 5 weeks off during the summer month, which is really amazing. That gives you so much time to explore Sweden. At least that's something we are going to do next summer. We already spent 2 summers here, I would say. The first summer was when we moved here, so we couldn't really explore much because we concentrated on settling in. And also my partner started his new job. And then this summer we actually moved houses. So we had to buy lots of furniture and do a lot of work at the house. So we couldn't really explore either, but all good things are 3. Next summer is our summer in Sweden. Okay, here comes a bonus tip. It's all about your attitude. Of course, the winters are the hardest compared to the other seasons. But if you already think that the winters are going to be horrible, well, then it's really hard to convince you from the opposite, or let's say it takes a lot of effort to convince you of the opposite. So it's better to keep an open mind and maybe trying to be a little bit positive towards the winters with all the tips I just mentioned. What I actually didn't mention is it's really nice to cozy up at home during winter, putting candles everywhere and just reading a book. Not that I have time with 2 kids, but it sounds really lovely and I would definitely do it when I have a little bit of time. But yeah, that's also a positive during the winter. I have to say my first winter was rather wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I know that maybe 5 winters in I have a different opinion, but so far it was really nice. Just because we had a lot of snowy days in Stockholm, it looked absolutely magical. And the sun was out pretty much all the time, at least that's what I remember. So there weren't too many gray days like I'm more used to from London. Here in Stockholm or around Stockholm, it was much sunnier in the winters. So yes, it will get dark at 3 p.m. again, and you just have a few hours of sunshine during the day. So it does make sense to make the most out of that. And then all my other tips apply. So these were my tips. Let's see what this winter has to offer, and I will keep you updated. Thanks so much for watching till the end. As always, I hope to see you in my next video. Have a great day and stay safe. Hey do!